Here we go guys, now M1 chipset has updated to M1 Pro and M1 Max. Now you can say this is the biggest update ever made by the Apple, right? So let's talk about M1 Pro that has 10 core CPU, 8 high perform and 2 high efficiency, right? And 16 core of GPU, up to 32 GB of RAM. And it is built as same as a shared memory architect like M1 chipset, built in the 5nm itself and process, but physically scaled up, and optimized. And it is claiming that it has a 70% faster CPU than M1 and 2 times faster GPU than already famous favorite M1 chip. And this is the biggest update after Intel chipset. The biggest changes are in its GPU, so that we can feel the size difference of the chipsets. You can see M1 is smaller than M1 Pro and M1 Max is the biggest one. So in M1 Max we can see 10 core CPU as usual and 32 core of GPU, which is very big in its comparison. So it is 4 times faster. Initially it has the same design like a previous MacBook also. So in the color wise comparison, I can say space gray will be the perfect one, and that's a favorite for me as well. I'll come to the display later. First of all, let's talk about the spec. So we have here 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is M1 Max, 10 core CPU, 32 core GPU, 64 GB of RAM, 1TB SSD, cost around 3899. Another one, 16-inch MacBook Pro, M1 Pro chipset and 10 core of CPU, 16 core of GPU. And another is 14-inch MacBook Pro with M1 Pro chipset, 10 core of CPU and 16 core of GPU, cost around 2899. Build wise, the concept is so much familiar, but its execution is more thicker, more square shape and more aggressive. In the button section we can see the raised feet, which provide the room to pass the ears, so it is hardly noticeable in the flat section as well. Now I think Apple has listened to the people, right? So they give the SD card slot in the side and HDMI port as well. So one USB, and in the another side we can see 2 USB-C hub or charging connector and earphone jack. Now you can see the function keyboard are physically built and raised on. The previous one was barely used by many people, so I really miss some of the buttons, but it's very good. Now if we talk about Touch ID button, then it is not more attractive, but it's perfectly fine. But sometimes you may think that it get dirty. So far there is no issue, but I like the way it works. Now let's talk about the display. The display has the mini LED display with a ProMotion features, so it looks great, and it has off 1600 nits of brightness, so that wherever you are sitting at, outdoor or indoor, it doesn't really matter. So you can easily watch HDR movies in YouTube as well. So the display has a notch, which is like an iPhone does, and it seems very good and very attractive as well. Overall, the initial impression is perfect, and for the battery life we will be checking out and bringing the full review after. So don't forget to subscribe and put that bell icon on, so in the future we can give you the performance review as well. So we can barely say that M1 will win, because M1 Pro is now becoming the fastest CPU GPU processor ever made. So that we will see in the next video, so please don't forget to subscribe. Till then, have a great time. Bye bye.